We are talking about the menopause right now. Women are expected to face waits until 2025 for NHS menopause treatment. It was revealed this week. At the same time, women across the UK have also been struggling to access HRT, having to travel long distances or cut down doses in order to keep a consistent supply. It beggars belief, really, doesn't it? As a result of this, lots of women, including I know friends of mine, are sourcing and exploring new avenues in order to try to deal with symptoms of the menopause and perimenopause as well. And it is a subject that we are talking about more and more. It's something I feel really passionate about. It's not happened to me yet, but I've got friends who it's happening to. But I also think it's really important for guys as well, because, you know, you want to know what's going on with your partner and how to be there for them. And it affects you too. So founder of Be Mindful Now, the lovely Gaynor Quilter, holds regular menopause workshops, Mindfulness Menopause, which practices methods to learn to adapt and try to establish a new relationship with the menopause mindfully, because it does change your life. Good morning, Gaynor.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
This morning. Tell me a bit about how this came about for you,
Yes.
why you started this.
Well, of course, my own menopause journey is where I started. And actually, that was also the start of the mindfulness company that we set up. So my own journey was mainly sleeping for 2-3 hours a day, if that, hot flushes, you name it, that, you know, it was bad and I couldn't work anymore. I couldn't work with the degree that, with the way that I was working, and I was unhappy with the way that I was changing, and I was being ratty and just not pleasant, actually. And so one of the things that I started, I gave up work is the start of it. But the move to the kind of the mindful menopause place is just learning to be with the fact that your body's changing, be with the fact that you need to you have to actually establish a new relationship with your body, a new respect for your body.
And that's a really important point, because, obviously we're going to talk about, like you're mentioning, the physical symptoms and how that can change you as a person and how you feel. But also there is that coming to terms with it. And it is all wrapped in and tied in with ageing as well. And the end of one part of your life. Yeah. And the beginning of another. But it's getting on that map, isn't it? And feeling that way. And that's very difficult, actually.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And I suppose within my, for me now, it's been over 11 years since all of that kind of, all of the, hot sweats, you name it, the physical stuff started. And to start with, I was really angry. I was fighting it. I was resisting it. I was pushing it away. I didn't want to change. I wanted to be the old me. And so there was a lot of kind of resistance to what was happening for me physically, and then emotionally, what it was doing in the relationship. You talked about guys as well, just that kind of whole, you have to renegotiate your relationship.
Yeah, my friend says that. She's going through it. She's 54 and her partner is lovely. And she says sometimes, she'll come down the stairs and he'll just know. He goes into another room and stays there. Because, I'm laughing, but on a serious note, it does and can affect your relationship as well. Yeah. Because they're dealing with it too, and they perhaps don't know what to say to you when you feel like you want to throw a frying pan at them or whatever. It's very difficult.
It is difficult, and there is a pushing away of it, but that you can't push it away. My mum used to say, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You've got to prepare yourself for a marathon. It's not a quick thing. I've been in relationship with my menopause for over 10 years now. So it's not something, and for some people, they don't even have a relationship that long. So it is building a relationship with yourself, and it is learning to notice how different your body is, and instead of resisting it and pushing it away, actually starting to accept that this is what it is. And it's not we don't want to do that. We want a quick fix.
We don't want to age either, do we? I mean, that's just, and it's okay to say that. It's perfectly okay to say that. That's a normal feeling, I think, particularly in today's society, because it's so much harder for women as we get older. You know, we get labelled old very quickly, whereas men don't. So before we come to what Mindful Menopause does and your amazing workshops, I just want to ask you your feelings on the actual help that is out there. Most of my friends who have been through this and going through this have all had to go private to seek specialist treatment because they just weren't getting that from their GP. We're hearing about the cuts as well, and you know, it beggars belief that women are having to cut down doses because they need to make it stretch over a period of time. Where do you sort of stand on that? Your experience on the treatment? Did you seek, if you don't mind me asking, help privately as well? Because obviously it's very difficult for some women. They can't access that.
Yeah. You see, I didn't go down the HRT route because we have a lot of breast cancer in our family. So I didn't even walk down that route. I mean, the doctor was advising it, but I didn't go there. But I did go through lots of medical. I mean, I spent a small fortune on medical support, herbal support. To be fair, it wasn't, you know, it didn't actually do anything, and I don't use anything anymore. But it's part of that seeking to fix something that actually is not easy to fix. And within our work, within the workshops that we run, there are lots and lots of women that are doing exactly what you're describing. And I'm a member of a women's book club. And I've seen over the years, all of us do different things. And some of this cutting back on HRT is a real theme of what's happening out there. And to be fair, you know, we weren't talking about this other than in private spaces 10 years ago. The greatest thing that's happened is, whilst there's still, as I say, a tightening of the buttocks about talking about it, you know, we are talking about it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. My nana's 91, and she brought me up. I was sort of 2.5, and she was 50 when I went to live with her. And she talks to me now. She was going through it, sort of maybe 52, 53. And I never knew anything about it. And she came from a wartime baby. You didn't talk about stuff like that. She says to me now, you didn't know anything was wrong with me. You know, we didn't have time to talk about things like that, Kelly. But I said to her, it's really important now that as women do, and that my daughter's educated, that we're all educated and we all support each other, because staying in silence doesn't help anyone, does it? So it's absolutely great that we are, you know, having conversations like this on Saturday morning as well before 9 a.m.
It's true.
Let's hear about these workshops.
It's great.
And where they take place.
So what we do is we run, at the minute we're running Saturday morning workshops, and we're probably going to migrate to drop-ins, because there's a real desire to just be in a space of support with other women everyone has a really different a different journey, a different approach. And what you get is that real sharing of what's going on. And some of it's practical. Some of it's kind of what's the best way to deal with this. And some of it's real emotion, you know, and women are great at talking about this kind of stuff. And what we do is we create a space where women actually can talk about it. And then what we do in terms of the mindfulness practices is I share the practices that have worked for me, that are all about sensory or body, or actually about being grounded. I do a mountain meditation, and it's all about just starting to feel grounded and using the earth to support you, because that is there. The earth is there to support you. So we use practices to work with different different issues that arise in the group. But principally, it's not a medical space. It's actually a space for women to share and to be with whatever's there.
So important. I love what you're doing. How can people find out more about it, Gaynor?
Yeah, of course. So our website is mindfulnessunleashed.com, and it just says menopause, mindful menopause workshops, and the next one's on the 10th of June. If anyone's interested, you'd be very welcome.
Wonderful. I could keep you here a lot longer. There's so much more I want to discuss with you. We'll have to get you back another time. Thank you so much as well. You're very inspirational, and what you're doing is fantastic, and sharing your story too. So thank you. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. Have a great weekend.
And you too.
The lovely Gaynor Quilter from Mindful Now. She's the founder of Mindful Now. It's menopause workshops and mindfulness menopause workshops that she